The food that helped me lower my blood sugar was fried in butter. Yep, you heard that right. Not a green juice, not a fat-free yogurt, but a couple of eggs, fried slow in real butter, just like my mama used to make. I was sure it'd mess up my cholesterol or spike something. Turns out, what made me feel worse all along wasn't butter. It was the bread underneath. After I let go of the toast and kept the eggs, something changed. I stopped feeling dizzy in the mornings. My gut calmed down, and the tightness in my chest after meals, gone. I'm not here to preach, but I've lived a few decades in this body, and I thank God I gave those old-fashioned foods another shot. After 60, it's not about following trends. It's about following peace. In this video, I'm sharing 12 foods I eat every week. No sugar, no carbs, or close to it. A few of them have tiny amounts, but they're so low and so gentle on my blood sugar, I still count them as 0. You won't find anything fancy here. Just food that works. Tap like and subscribe if you're tired of the sugar crash cycle and ready for real energy again. Number 1, eggs. The smell of eggs frying in butter still reminds me of Sunday mornings at my mother's house. Sunlight in the kitchen, the hiss of the skillet, and a pot of coffee bubbling nearby. I didn't know back then that those little eggs were a powerhouse. I just knew they made me feel full and calm before church. These days, they become a quiet ally in my journey to keep my sugar steady and my morning strong. I eat 2 almost every day now, scrambled, fried, or boiled with a sprinkle of salt. They don't spike my sugar, and they hold me through lunch without the crash I usually get from toast or cereal. That constant hunger, it's gone. And honestly, my stomach thanks me. Eggs are gentle on the gut and give just the right kind of energy, nothing jittery, nothing heavy. Did you know eggs have no carbs and no sugar at all? Not a trace. Just good fats, protein, and nutrients like B12, the kind that help your nerves, your brain, even your mood. My doctor was surprised at how stable my levels got after I brought eggs back to my plate and ditched the muffins and bagels. Funny how something so simple can do so much. Some folks still avoid the yolks, but let me tell you, that's where the gold is. That's where the choline lives, which helps your liver and brain work better. I thank the Lord I didn't throw out the best part all those years. Now, I make my eggs slow and easy, just like Mama did, with a little butter or olive oil and gratitude in my heart. Never thought I'd say it, but something as humble as an egg helped me feel human again after breakfast. No bloating, no brain fog, just a sense of calm to start the day. Number 2, beef. There's something about the smell of a good steak on the grill that brings me right back to summer evenings in Texas. Dad would be out there in his flannel shirt, tongs in hand, flipping a ribeye like it was sacred. Back then, meat was comfort. But later on, I was told to back away from red meat. Bad for the heart, they said. Well, now I know better. Turns out, it wasn't the steak that made me sluggish, it was the mashed potatoes right next to it. These days, I eat beef with no side of guilt, and no sugar crash after dinner. It keeps me full, gives me steady energy, and it's helped tame my blood sugar in ways those so-called heart-healthy cereals never did. Ground beef in a skillet with some herbs and a side of spinach is a dinner I can count on. And when I go for a lean cut or grass-fed, it feels even better in my belly. It's simple, satisfying, and never weighs me down. Here's the thing. Beef has 0 carbs and 0 sugar. Not a hint. Just protein, iron, B12, and the kind of fats that your body knows what to do with, especially if you're past 60 and try to stay strong without adding weight around the middle. My doctor said my iron levels improved, and I noticed I wasn't as winded going up the stairs. Coincidence? Maybe, but I'm keeping the steak. I used to think eating red meat would stiffen my arteries. But the truth is, since cutting the bread and adding back beef, my blood pressure evened out and I sleep better at night. There's no bloat, no sugar spike, and best of all, I feel like I'm eating real food, not chasing calories. When I sit down with a plate of grilled steak and roasted zucchini, I feel thankful. Thankful that I stopped fearing the food that God made. Just honest beef, no sauces, no sugar, no fuss, and no guilt either. Number 3, fish. Funny how the food that smells like the ocean ended up saving my heart. I used to turn my nose up at sardines and salmon, too fishy. I'd say, But once I started caring more about what was going on inside my body than how something smelled, I gave it a try. And Lord, I'm glad I did. After just a few weeks of swapping processed meats for wild-caught fish, I felt lighter, clearer, and more at ease. Now I try to get fish on my plate 2 or 3 times a week. Usually salmon baked with lemon or a can of mackerel stirred into a salad. It's easy, it's filling, and most important for me, it doesn't mess with my blood sugar. I used to feel sleepy after meals. Fish? I feel alert, steady, and satisfied. No sugar, no carbs, and no brain fog after lunch. What makes fish so special isn't just the protein, it's the omega-3s. Those healthy fats are like a balm for your heart and brain. I read somewhere they help reduce inflammation too. I don't know all the science, but I do know my hands don't ache like they used to, and my mood doesn't swing like a screen door in the wind. That's good enough proof for me. My grandson once joked, "Grandpa eats like a bear now, fish and greens." Maybe so, but bears are strong, and I'd rather have my joints and memory than a donut and a nap. Fish gives me that slow, calm energy that lasts. And I don't miss the fries one bit. Some folks spend hundreds on fancy supplements. Me? I just thank the Lord for a can of sardines and a quiet afternoon. Sometimes the answer isn't in a pill bottle. It's right there in the pantry. Number 4, chicken. Back when I first started cutting sugar, I was nervous I'd run out of things to eat. Everything I used to enjoy had breading, sauces, or some sweet glaze on top. But then I remembered chicken. Plain, honest chicken. The kind my wife used to roast on Sundays with just salt, pepper, and a few herbs from the backyard. No sugar, no tricks. Just crispy skin and a smell that made your mouth water before you even sat down. These days, I keep cooked chicken in the fridge almost every week. Sometimes I grill it. Sometimes I bake it. And once in a while, I'll shred it up and toss it in a lettuce wrap with a dollop of mustard. It fills me up without making me sleepy, and I don't get that gassy, heavy feeling I used to have after pasta or sandwiches. And best of all, my sugar stays level. Chicken breast has 0 carbs and no sugar. None. Just lean protein and the kind of nutrition that keeps you strong without piling on weight. I started noticing less belly bloat, and even my knees didn't complain as much after long walks. There's a clean, steady energy that comes from eating simple foods like this. You don't notice it all at once. It kind of sneaks up on you in the best way. One thing I've come to enjoy is how versatile chicken can be without needing sauces or marinades. I use a little olive oil, maybe some paprika or rosemary, and let the oven do the rest. When you stop masking food with sugar, you start tasting what real food is supposed to be like. Sometimes I say a quiet thank you before I eat. Not just for the meal, but for the peace that comes with it. No crash, no guilt, no confusion. Just a plate of chicken, and a body that feels a little steadier each time. Number 5, cheese. I used to think cheese was just something to go on top of pasta or melt into a sandwich. But once I cut out the bread and noodles, I started tasting cheese for what it really is, rich, creamy, and surprisingly satisfying all on its own. These days, a few slices of cheddar or a piece of Gouda feel like a treat, not a guilty pleasure. And here's the kicker. It's got no sugar and hardly a carb in sight. A small square of cheese in the afternoon keeps me from reaching for sweets or crackers. It gives me that full, calm feeling without spiking my sugar or leaving me sluggish. And my gut? Way happier than it used to be. Cheese doesn't stir up that bloated, sour feeling I used to get from yogurt cups or milkshakes. It's gentle, grounding, like a warm blanket for your belly. What surprises most folks is how nutritious cheese can be. It's packed with calcium, fats that keep you full, and even a bit of protein to hold you through. When you stop fearing fat and start fearing sugar instead, everything changes. My heart feels steadier, and my brain doesn't fog up by 3 p.m. like it used to. Sometimes I slice up a bit of Parmesan with apple cider vinegar and olive oil, no bread, no crackers, and it's like a fancy meal right there at the kitchen table. Other times, I just nibble on a cube while watching the bird from the porch. No rush, no rules. Just slowing down and feeding my body something real. It took me a long time to stop blaming foods like cheese for what sugar was doing all along. Now, I'm grateful for every bite that leaves me feeling strong instead of swollen. Number 6, olive oil. If you open my kitchen cabinet, you'll always find one thing sitting by the stove, a dark glass bottle of olive oil. Not because it's trendy, but because it's what my grandmother used to cook everything in. She'd drizzle over beans, toast, even scrambled eggs. Back then, I didn't think much of it. But now, I see it as one of the quietest heroes in my kitchen. When I stopped using vegetable oils and switched to olive oil, my stomach noticed first. Less gas, less heartburn. Then I noticed my joints weren't as stiff, and my blood sugar wasn't jumping all over the place. I even use a spoonful in the morning sometimes. Straight up, when my belly's acting up, it settles things in a way no pill ever did. Olive oil has 0 carbs and 0 sugar. It's just pure fat, the kind your heart actually appreciates. It's known to help reduce inflammation, and for me, that's meant less puffiness, better digestion, and clearer thinking. When I dress my salad with it or cook my eggs in it, I feel full without feeling heavy. That's a hard balance to find after 60. One of my favorite tricks is to mix olive oil with a little lemon juice and garlic. Drizzle it over steamed vegetables or grilled chicken. It makes even a plain meal feel like something special, like I'm eating in one of those fancy restaurants without leaving my own chair. Thank the Lord I didn't listen to those low-fat trends from the 90s. Bringing olive oil back into my life has brought peace to my plate and comfort to my gut. Number 7, butter. I spent most of my adult life avoiding butter, like it was poison. We were told margarine was better, low-fat was safer, and butter would send us straight to the cardiologist. But after turning 60 and feeling worse on health foods, I gave butter another try, and I haven't looked back since. Now, I use it proudly, and my body thanks me for it every time. Mornings start with a pat of butter melting into my scrambled eggs or my decaf coffee. It gives me steady energy, not the shaky kind from toast or cereal. My stomach doesn't twist up, and I don't feel like I need a nap by 10 a.m. The richness of real butter helps me feel full without piling on carbs or sugar. It's simple, clean, and tastes like home. Butter has no sugar and no carbs. None. Just pure fat and vitamins like A and D, the kind our bodies actually need to function, especially as we age. When I made the switch back from margarine, even my skin started feeling less dry. I noticed less inflammation, fewer mood swings, and more joy in the small things, like finally enjoying my food again. One thing I learned is that the quality matters. I go for real, unsalted butter, not the whipped or processed stuff. And I use it with respect, just a little to cook vegetables or roast meat. It's not about drowning your food. It's about bringing it back to life. I sometimes smile thinking about all the years I skipped butter in fear, when it was with a few things that never upset my gut or my heart. Funny how truth has a way of finding its way back to your plate. Number 8, turkey. Thanksgiving used to be the only time I thought about turkey. A big roasted bird, cranberry sauce, and a belly so full I had to unbuckle my belt by 3 p.m. But now, turkey shows up in my kitchen all year round, not as a star of a feast, but as one of the gentlest, cleanest proteins I've ever added to my plate. And best of all, it asks for nothing in return. No sugar, no carbs, no trouble. These days, I'll roast a turkey breast on Sunday and slice it thin for the week. I throw it in salads, warm it up with butter, or just eat it cold with mustard. It fills me up without weighing me down. Compared to the processed meats I used to eat, ham, sausages, deli cuts with hidden sugars, turkey feels like a breath of fresh air for my gut and heart. What makes turkey special isn't just a lean protein, but how easy it is on digestion. I used to get gassy and bloated after lunch. Now I just feel settled. It's helped keep my blood sugar steady too, especially when I skip the bread and wrap it in lettuce or eat it with avocado instead. Sometimes I season it with a bit of sage and garlic, and it brings back memories of holidays. Only now, I don't need a nap right after eating. I can keep moving, take a walk, even do some yard work without feeling like I've swallowed a brick. I used to overlook turkey as dry or boring. But now, I see it for what it is, clean, simple, and forgiving. In a world full of flashy foods and empty calories, a slice of honest turkey feels like a blessing. Number 9, avocados. I remember the first time I held an avocado in my hand. I didn't know whether to eat it, plant it, or shine my boots with it. It looked like a green rock. But once I sliced it open and tasted that buttery inside, I was hooked. Now, it's one of the few foods that I eat almost every day, and I believe it's played a big role in calming both my blood sugar and my digestion. Most mornings, I mash up half an avocado with a little salt and lemon juice, and spread it over some turkey or eat it with a spoon. It keeps me full until lunch without the blood sugar dip I used to get from toast or cereal. And unlike those sugary yogurts or light snacks I used to rely on, avocados don't leave my stomach in knots. Even though they've got a tiny bit of carbohydrate, avocados have zero sugar, and the fiber helps slow everything down in a good way. My gut feels calm, my heart feels steady, and I've noticed my energy lasts longer. Plus, they're full of potassium and good fats, the kind that your heart and brain thank you for after 60. Sometimes I slice one up and drizzle olive oil on top, or add a pinch of chili flakes when I need something with a kick. It's simple food, but it feels indulgent, like I'm doing something kind for my body, and I guess I am. Who would have thought a fruit with no sugar could feel like dessert? Every time I scoop out that soft green flesh, I thank the Lord for the little things that make a big difference. Number 10, shellfish. Back in the day, I only ate shrimp at buffets or fancy weddings, covered in sauce and sitting next to a dinner roll. But once I started cutting sugar and carbs, I gave plain shellfish another try. And let me tell you, it was like finding treasure at the bottom of the sea. These little guys, shrimp, crabs, scallops, became one of my favorite ways to feel full, light, and steady. Nowadays, I'll steam up a handful of shrimp with some garlic and butter, or toss a few scallops in a hot skillet with olive oil. No breading, no sugar, no mess. They cook fast, fill you up, and don't spike your blood sugar one bit. I've even noticed my belly feels calmer after shellfish than it does with heavier meats. It's clean fuel, no fog, no bloating, no guilt. Shellfish are completely free of carbs and sugar, and they're packed with minerals your body needs, like zinc and selenium. I may not understand everything those nutrients do, but I do know I get sick less often and recover quicker when I eat more of this stuff. It feels like giving my immune system a pat on the back without swallowing a single pill. One of my favorite meals now is a bowl of cold shrimp with avocado and a drizzle of lemon. It's refreshing, simple, and doesn't leave me feeling like I need to lie down after. And that old belief that shellfish were bad for your heart? Well, I've had better numbers since I started eating them regularly. Sometimes, the best things don't come from a box or a health aisle. They come from the ocean, with nothing added but a little heat and a bit of gratitude. Number 11, coconut oil. When someone first told me to try coconut oil in my coffee, I thought they were crazy. Coconut belonged in pie, not in breakfast. But I was willing to try just about anything to feel better. My energy was crashing. My stomach was acting up, and I felt like I was dragging myself through the day. So I stirred in a spoonful, and you know what? My body actually liked it. A lot. Now I keep a jar of coconut oil right by the stove. I cook eggs in it, stir it into hot drinks, even rub a little on dry hands in the winter. It's gentle on the stomach, and it gives me the slow, even energy, no jitter, no slump. Best of all, it has zero sugar, zero carbs, and doesn't mess with my blood sugar one bit. I feel steady, calm, and clear in the head after using it. Coconut oil is full of something called MCTs, medium chain fats, and they're different from the kind that make you feel heavy or bloated. These are easier to digest and can actually help your body use fat for energy instead of always burning sugar. That's something I never understood when I was younger, but now I feel the difference. I use it to roast vegetables, sear meat, and sometimes just take a spoonful when I'm feeling sluggish in the afternoon. It's got this light coconut smell that reminds me of beach vacation from long ago, sunny, simple, and relaxing. There's something comforting about a food that gives back without taking anything away. I used to be afraid of fat. Now, I thank the Lord for the good ones, like this, that help my body run better without making my gut or blood sugar suffer. Number 12, lamb. Growing up, lamb wasn't something we ate every week. Maybe once a year at Easter, slow roasted with rosemary until the whole house smelled like a Sunday blessing. But when I started looking for meats that were rich in nutrients, easy on blood sugar, and didn't upset my gut, I gave lamb another chance. And I'm glad I did, because it might just be one of the most satisfying meals I've had since turning 60. These days, I'll roast lamb chops with garlic and thyme, or simmer ground lamb with onions and spinach. No sauces, no breadcrumbs, no sugar, just honest food, full of flavor and comfort. It fills me up in a way that doesn't weigh me down. And it keeps my blood sugar nice and steady, unlike the pasta dishes I used to love and regret an hour later. Lamb has 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and is packed with protein, iron, zinc, and healthy fats. It's a kind of meat that keeps you sharp and strong, especially for older folks like us who want to hold on to muscle without spiking our glucose. I also noticed my digestion improved. No heartburn, no bloating, just a peaceful belly and steady energy. I've even made lamb part of our Sunday dinners again, but this time with roasted cauliflower or a salad on the side instead of mashed potatoes. My wife says it reminds her of simpler times. And honestly, it feels good to bring something back that was once special, and now fits perfectly into the way I eat every day. I used to think lamb was a fancy meat. Now I think of it as smart food, rich, grounding, and a quiet gift for a body trying to heal. I used to think the damage was already done, that after 60, it was too late to turn the ship around. But these past few years have shown me something different, something worth sharing. The foods that helped me feel lighter, think clearer, and move easier didn't come in a box. They weren't labeled diet or low fat. They were real, simple, made by God, not factories. Cutting sugar wasn't easy at first. I missed the bread, the crackers, the sauces. But once I filled my plate with these 12 foods with 0 sugar and 0 carbs, the craving stopped running the show. My blood sugar found its rhythm again. My heart calmed down. And that ache in my belly that used to whisper after every meal, it finally went quiet. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Your body's always listening. Even at 60, 70, or 80, it responds to the care you give it. These foods gave me back energy I thought I'd lost for good. They helped me walk longer, sleep deeper, and enjoy a quiet evening without pain knocking on the door. Now, I'm not saying this is the answer for everyone. Before you change your diet, especially if you got health issues, talk to your doctor, someone who knows your history. But if you're tired of feeling tired, and you're ready to try something real, these foods might be a good place to start. Take care of yourselves, and God bless y'all. Every single day you choose peace over sugar is a step worth celebrating.